"You embarrassed me out there," he hissed. "One stupid stumble and everyone laughs at me. Fix yourself." Elena trembled. "Damon, please! You're hurting me!" His hand rose. Marcus moved without thinking. "Sir, stop!" Damon turned sharply, eyes blazing like a predator, interrupted. "And who the hell are you?" he growled. Marcus pulled out his phone. His hands shook, but he hit record. "I'm documenting what you're doing." Damon lunged forward. "You think anyone will believe a janitor over me?" Marcus didn't back away. "Maybe not, but the camera won't lie." At the Mandarin Crest Hotel in Houston shimmered like a palace carved from glass. Every chandelier glowed, every gown sparkled, and every whispered conversation floated like perfume through the ballroom. It was the annual Aurora Hearts Charity Gala, an event where Texas's wealthiest families gathered to show generosity on camera and cruelty off the record. Among the crowd of glittering gowns and towering egos, Marcus Hale, a 28-year-old janitor and single father, moved quietly with his mop bucket. His uniform was faded, his shoes tired, but his gentle eyes held a strength that life's hardships couldn't dull. His daughter, Ava, waited for him in the staff nursery, a reminder of why he worked every shift offered. Marcus wasn't meant to be noticed at such an event, but that night he would witness something no one else dared to acknowledge. At the center of the ballroom stood Damon Kingsley, a billionaire oil magnate with a face sculpted for magazine covers and a reputation polished by PR teams. His smile fooled investors, influencers, and politicians. But there was one person it had never fooled: his wife, Elena Kingsley. 6 months pregnant, Elena stood beside Damon in a silver gown that shimmered under the lights. She looked fragile, like crystal, beautiful but breakable. The orchestra softened, speeches paused, and the room settled into chatter. Marcus was sweeping near the back, unnoticed, blending into the shadows as usual. Then he heard it, a muffled cry behind the draped curtain near the VIP exit. Marcus paused. Another whimper. He glanced around. Guests pretended not to hear. Some stiffened, some whispered, but all turned their backs with the precision of practiced cowardice. His heart hammered. Should he intervene? Should he walk away? He stepped forward. Behind the curtain, Damon Kingsley had Elena pinned against the wall. His fingers dug into her wrist with vicious force, his tone low and venomous. "You embarrassed me out there," he hissed. "One stupid stumble and everyone laughs at me. Fix yourself." Elena trembled. "Damon, please. You're hurting me." His hand rose. Marcus moved without thinking. "Sir, stop." Damon turned sharply, eyes blazing like a predator, interrupted. "And who the hell are you?" he growled. Marcus pulled out his phone. His hands shook, but he hit record. "I'm documenting what you're doing." Damon lunged forward. "You think anyone will believe a janitor over me?" Marcus didn't back away. "Maybe not, but the camera won't lie." The billionaire froze, just long enough for Marcus to widen the curtain. Now everyone saw. The head chef, Rafael Cortez, dropped his serving tray. A socialite gasped. A security guard shifted uncomfortably. Guests turned their heads, but not quickly enough to pretend ignorance. And that break in silence, that moment of exposure, changed everything. Damon released Elena instantly, but the damage had been revealed. Rafael, the chef, stepped forward. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. "I saw him grab her earlier too," he said loudly, eyes never leaving Elena. "This isn't the first time." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Phones rose, cameras clicked. The wealthy elite, so accustomed to silence, found themselves dragged into witness. Damon's PR manager rushed forward, sweating bullets. "Everyone, please! There's been a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding." Elena's voice was soft, but it sliced through the air like glass. Damon whipped toward her. "Say another word and—" "Or what?" Marcus challenged. For a second, nobody breathed. That night ended with Damon escorted out by security. Not arrested, but embarrassed. Elena, trembling and terrified, was taken to a private lounge where paramedics checked her. Marcus expected to be fired on the spot, but instead Elena looked at him with eyes full of gratitude and whispered, "You saved my baby." The next morning the internet caught fire. Billionaire Damon Kingsley caught abusing pregnant wife at gala. Videos leaked. Comments exploded. Debates raged. But very quickly, things went quiet. Why? Because the Kingsley empire had money, lawyers, and connections. The videos were mysteriously removed. Witnesses were pressured. Jobs were threatened. Raphael was suspended. The security guard resigned. Marcus was told his employment was under review. But one person refused to back down. Nora Blake, an investigative journalist with a reputation for fearlessly exposing the powerful. Nora knocked on Marcus's apartment door 2 days later. "I know what you saw," she said, "and I know they're trying to bury it. I need your help." Marcus hesitated. "I can't lose my job. My daughter." "I'll protect you," Nora promised. "But more importantly, Elena needs someone in her corner." Marcus stared at the floor for a long moment. Then he nodded. Nora arranged a secret meeting at a safe house. Elena arrived with a hood over her head, sunglasses hiding her bruises. She looked like a ghost of the woman from the gala, frail, hollow-eyed, shoulders shaking. "Thank you for coming," Nora said gently. Elena's voice quivered. "I don't know what I'm doing. I've kept quiet for years. Damon always said no one would believe me." "They didn't," Raphael muttered bitterly. "That's why we're here, to change that." Marcus leaned forward. "What he did to you wasn't your fault." Elena stared at him. This janitor who risked everything. For the first time in years, she cried. And she spoke. She told them about the hidden cameras Damon installed in their home for security, but actually used to monitor her every movement. About the bruises she covered with makeup. About the isolation, the threats, the gaslighting. About the baby she feared wouldn't survive the next explosion of his rage. Nora recorded everything. "Do you have access to the home footage?" she asked. Elena wiped her tears. "I can get it." And she did. What she retrieved became the key that unlocked everything. Months of footage showing Damon's violent outbursts, emotional cruelty, and calculated intimidation. The journalist had her story. The district attorney had their evidence. And Elena had her first taste of freedom. The courtroom overflowed. Cameras lined the halls. The Kingsley family tried every trick. Bribery, intimidation, character assassination. But truth has a way of surviving. Marcus testified first. Raphael testified next. Then Elena took the stand. Her hands trembled. Her voice shook. But her courage did not waver. "Damon Kingsley abused me for 5 years," she said. "Tonight, I end the silence." Damon erupted in rage, shouting insults, threats, and accusations. The judge slammed the gavel repeatedly. His mask shattered, finally showing the monster beneath the money. Security dragged him out. And for the first time, Elena exhaled without fear. After a 4-week trial, the judge declared, "Damon Kingsley is sentenced to 18 years in federal prison." The courtroom erupted. Elena collapsed into Raphael's arms, sobbing with relief. Marcus hugged Nora. Justice had finally been louder than money. In the months after the trial, the 4 of them, Elena, Marcus, Raphael, and Nora, met again. But this time, not to fight, to rebuild. They launched the Lighthouse Initiative, a nonprofit dedicated to helping survivors of domestic violence. Legal aid, counseling, safe housing, job training, emergency relocation, everything Elena once needed. Everything thousands of others still desperately needed. Marcus became the community outreach director. Raphael taught cooking skills for survivors seeking careers. Nora ran the advocacy wing, passing new legislation. Elena became the face of the foundation, proof that survivors could rise again. On opening day, dozens lined up outside the new facility. Mothers with children, women with broken hope, men escaping abusive partners, teenagers with nowhere else to go. Elena stood beside Marcus as they cut the ribbon. "You saved my life," she whispered. Marcus smiled. "No, you saved your own. I just held the light." Ava tugged Marcus's pant leg. "Daddy, are these the people you helped?" He knelt beside her. "Yes, baby, and we're going to help a lot more." The crowd erupted in applause as the Lighthouse Initiative opened its doors. Inside, a mural stretched across the entrance wall. "Courage is in the absence of fear. It's choosing to stand anyway." and beneath it, 4 signatures: Elena Hale, Marcus Hale, Rafael Cortez, Nora Blake. 4 people who once lived in the shadows, now beacons guiding others out of darkness. The story didn't end with survival. It began with rebirth. If this story moved you even a little, please hit the like button. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful story like this one. And in the comments, tell me, what would you have done if you were in Marcus' place that night? Your voice matters. Let's keep this conversation alive and stand together for courage, justice, and survivors everywhere.